Brenden, I want to get your thoughts on obviously the last two games have gone the way you guys wanted it to go. Was anything different in those two games, or was it merely kind of guys getting the bounces and the fine line, if you will, kind of went in your direction?
Yeah, we've talked about our game over the last couple of weeks, and the result is kind of based on the process that we talk about, and our game plan and really executing it, and the competitive part of it. And I think we've gotten the results in the last two, but I think we've really earned the last two wins too. I think early on it's just been a process of the D and the forwards. We've gotten the goaltending too in these games, which has really helped us. But two kind of real different hockey games too when you look at the Minnesota game versus the Seattle game last. Seattle was more methodical, trying to slow the game down, and I think Minnesota had a lot of speed. And I think it's a great feeling for our group that we know we can play those two styles and have success doing it. But ultimately, we're just trying to kind of continue to build this. 2 games is 2 games, but we want to get into the 5-10 game type of stretch where we're looking back at those and happy with our games.
Is the key with, I know you guys talk a lot about your structure, keeping things, relying on your structure, if you will.
Yeah.
Is that where it really comes in when you're playing a game like Minnesota, a little more pond hockey up and down, then you play a game like Seattle, it's a little more lock it down, clog the neutral zone, so you're relying on that structure to give you guys success in both opportunities?
Yeah, in a perfect world, we're not playing into that pond hockey style. I think with how the game started in Minnesota, we had a back-to-back with some travel, and they had a couple of real big opportunities early, but we were able to weather the storm, a couple good penalty kills, some block shots, saves, to kind of let us get going. And once we got our game going, which we'd like to have from the drop of the puck, but doesn't always work out that way, it's just something where we know we've got the speed, we know we've got the skill, but when we have that attention to detail and we're able to make teams make mistakes and earn power plays and kind of wear teams down that way, I think that's when we're at our best.
And looking at it, 47, 48 games into the season, a little over the halfway mark, where do you assess where this club is? Not standing-wise, not just like getting to your systems.
Yeah, I think now we've got enough of a track record over these, as you said, 47, 48, to know when we're winning and when not just winning but playing the right way, what that looks like. And on the opposite side, when we're not, most oftentimes we're not getting the wins. The teams are too good in this league. I think we've learned that out, where you can't just expect to throw your skates on and go out and win, even as skilled or good as a team we think we are. So I would say we're still a little bit of trying to get that consistency, which when you can do that, you have to earn your way into the playoffs. You need to earn your way through the tough stretches of the year. And as we get into these last 30, 35 games, teams are really starting to see where they're working for the home ice advantage, a wild card spot, tops in the league. Really, just this is where the separation happens. And as we get into the Olympic break, I think once we come back from that, there's probably only 20, 25 games really left. So just the importance here of getting to overtime, like in the Seattle game, of just making the right plays at the right time, and something we've also stressed this year.
And how big has your captain been this year, Nico? Obviously coming through with the big overtime goal, but also in the Minnesota game was winning a lot of puck battles, kind of setting the tone for you.
Well, for Nico, he just does the little things that, whether it's the face-offs he takes and the amount and the time of the games and where they are on the ice and playing against the other team's top lines for most of the night, and at the same time being out there for the first PP, he's playing lots of PK minutes. He's just a guy that does everything well, and it's nice to see him get rewarded when he scores those big goals, and of course gets the game winner in overtime. But it's just he's one of those guys. He seems to always be in the right spot with us defensively. He's in the middle of the ice taking it away. He's back on the back check. He's up in the brush to be able to create offense, and I think it's just a true testament to him that whoever he plays with seems to play better.
Last one for you before I let you go. Carolina coming in here, obviously a tough opponent, divisional opponent. Came here a couple weeks ago and gave you guys the L. What do you guys got to do to kind of turn this thing around? And are you focusing on one game, or are you still trying to build some momentum off these last 2 wins?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. We want to build momentum. We want to continue no matter what team's coming in tomorrow. We want to win and we want to play well. But the fact that it is Carolina, and I've only been here for a year and a half, but I feel like there's this long history. Whether it's playoffs or we start the year there this year, we just want to play well against them. And I think when we are at our best and we're playing with speed, we're able to take the whole records and how they play against us out of it. You know what to expect out of them. You know it's going to be a hard game. You know that you're going to have to bring your best and be competitive, whether that's net front or getting pucks out at the blue line. keep you to an honest game. But we talked about it, and I think it's now for us to continue to play the right way, is not worry about the opponent, and keep in the back of our minds, we did lose last time in here. Those were 2 important points that we let slip away. So a big match that we will hopefully be ready for.
So ask you, obviously, a couple games back in the lineup, where you feel you're at, where your conditioning, your timing, all those kinds of things coming around.
I mean, conditioning is fine. I mean, I've been workout and skating before, so that's no problem. Timing a little, it takes a little bit to get back into it.
And what about your speed? It seemed like a couple times you had some pretty good bursts on the ice, getting up on the puck. Do you feel like your speed's kind of getting back up there too?
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good with my speed, actually.
And I know you haven't had obviously a ton of games here. Where do you feel you are with the structure, the systems, those kinds of things? Because other guys have had 40-some games that do it. You've only had a handful.
That's probably hardest part right now for me. Guys played a lot already, so I haven't. So understand play more with different players. Know how the team plays. I kind of know that in theory, but I haven't really play that style with everybody.
And where do you feel this team is? Obviously, the last 2 games have gone the way you wanted, and I know you haven't been here you missed a large part of the season, but you're able to watch and see what's going on. What was different with the last 2 games that maybe the team just wasn't able to find in the previous couple?
Long season. I always thought that team is good and can beat any team in the league. So anytime, we get to this point, it is what it is. But I think if we just keep working hard and play our game, it's going to be normal.
Cody, first of all, I want to talk to you about last 2 games. Obviously, went the way you guys wanted it to go, and previous ones didn't. What changed for the team, if anything, or is it just kind of that fine line between winning and losing, and you kind of just got some bounces and things went your way?
Yeah, you can kind of say a little bit of both, but I think just it's all a mindset type of thing with us. Going in, we have the game plan, we know exactly what we're supposed to do, and going out and kind of driving that through and kind of playing as one, and so it's been good. Everybody's been a lot more positive and all that kind of stuff, so it's been good.
And now about 47, 48 games into the season, where do you feel this team is? Where do you feel like you guys are at this juncture? Because obviously it's enough to have kind of somewhat of an identity in what you're trying to be.
Exactly. It's a long season and a lot of games left to play. So if we can kind of get our stride again and string along some wins and just play good hockey, have a good process, I feel like we're going to be in a good spot.
And where's your game at personally? Where do you feel you're at? And I mean, comfortability, all that stuff. I know you had some injuries a while ago, but where do you feel you're going right now?
Yeah, it's been good. I think, like you said, kind of injuries and lingering stuff always playing a factor. But I've felt good. I feel like the system's been a system I kind of fit in, especially playing with Brownie and Gritzy. It makes it a lot easier on myself. And when the team's winning, everybody looks good. So that's a huge thing for myself and everybody else.
Pretty fancy goal against Seattle. Can you kind of walk me through that play from the face-off win to the spin-off move?
Yeah, just face-off win and then try just burying my head, get to the net, and good things happen when you're around there. So good shot through. Maybe got a little bit of a fortunate bounce, but you'll take that when you can.
Got to be in the right place, right?
Exactly.
And last one for you, Carolina coming in here tomorrow. Obviously, they were here about a week ago. Gave you guys the L. What do you guys got to do to kind of right the ship? I guess the team, not to say that they're psychologically in your head, but it's a team that has obviously some battles with this club over the years.
Yeah, especially because they have 2 wins on us, and then obviously playoffs and everything. It's kind of a team that we battle with. So I think we have our minds in the right place. We know the game plan that we have to go through and everything that they're going to throw at us. So it comes down to us just playing our game, and we'll see. It's going to be a good battle.
Sheldon, the last 2 games, what have you liked about your guys' game collectively, and is this kind of the signs that you guys are moving a little bit in the right direction?
Well, I don't know that moving in the right direction, sure, but I don't know that we're there yet. Two's good start. Obviously, we got a big test coming up here tomorrow. What I liked about our game, both games have been different, so there's different elements. You got to kind of manage it differently, like the types of games, the way the games were played. There's far different low event game in the other night, and then in Minnesota is high event game, lots going on, and we had to manage that. And well, I just like that our guys have. I think we've competed hard. The energy of the team has been good. Good practice day to day. So from that end of it, I think moving towards where we want to be, but certainly going to put to the test tomorrow.
I think we were talking earlier in the year about the 8-game winning streak, and one of the things we were talking about then was how you're able to win different games, winning in kind of different elements and showing a little maturity in the game. Obviously, there's been some growing pains since, but is that kind of the element you're seeing too?
Yeah, I think the things that stand out that I would say are consistent in both games is we've been able to get the game moving in the other team's direction with consistency to the point that we're getting them tired. And that's when we're at our best, is when we're wearing teams down, capitalizing on them being fatigued, sort of manipulating the game, in a way in which we can win the line change game. That's when we're at our best, and then we've seen signs of that. It started to really come in Winnipeg. Quite honestly, we had some really good stretches there as well. In that sense. So that was good to carry it over to Minnesota, get rewarded for it. The Palat goal at the end of the first period, second period, was a perfect example of exactly what I'm talking about. And then we had a lot of really good examples the other day against Seattle. So that's kind of where I see us trending. And when I say we'll be tested, that we're going to play against a team tomorrow that's harder than anybody in the league to get those things to go in your favor. So that's where we'll be challenged for sure. But we're much in a much better place right now than where we were a week ago.
The players have always spoke about the structure. We need to play that structure, and it's obvious when the team is playing that structure, you get the W's. But why is it so difficult to do that night in, night out? And when it's not going your way, what do players have to do to maybe get there?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? I think it's why is it so hard? I think it becomes difficult because little things start to work against you. In some cases, maybe it's an injury, maybe it's the puck not going in the net. Maybe you just had some losses that'll start to pile up, and you start to kind of internally start to kind of question what you're doing, or thinking you need to change this or that, and then you get one stride away. Like, the league is so close that it's a lot of times it's one stride in either direction, or one play of the puck, one execution like that swings a game. And if you can't get those things right, they start to pile up in the wrong direction. It's hard to stop that. And then now you got to really work your way out of it. So when it starts to snowball, it's tough to get it back. I feel like we're going in the right direction here now. We got to keep it going, keep stacking up the good things. Messaging from the team is just continue to stack the good things, and have that pile continue to grow while reducing the things that work against us. So that's where we got to keep our focus. I think we've been through more than enough adversity here at this point in the season, whether it's through injuries or performance or results, that we have a very clear indication of how to manage and handle anything that comes our way.
Are you a believer in a team having another team's number? Like in the case of Carolina, they seem to have a lot of success against the Devils recently. Is there something to that?
Well, I think Carolina is an elite team. I think there's probably a lot of teams who would describe it that way. With that said, we beat Carolina 3 times in our building last season.
I was just wondering, it looked like at practice you're going to keep Hamilton and Dillon together. Is that something we should expect for tomorrow, or no decision made?
We're gonna see where Kovacevic is at precisely for tomorrow. However, if he's feeling good and able to play as we suspect he is, then it would look like it is today. Obviously, that leaves Nemec on the outside. Not an easy decision, given if it is a priority, we want to get Nemo back going here. But it's a big game coming up, and Dougie has played well since he's come back. we want to see what Kovacevic can bring for us in a game like this, and he's another guy we're trying to get up and running and get him going. So, with 7 bona fide NHL defensemen, I'm in a tough spot here to make decisions on a daily basis. Not easy conversation. Nemo wants to play, but got to make a call, and that's the way it goes for tomorrow. And then make a decision from there as we get out down the road.
And then going along those lines, it looks like White's going to go on waivers with the intention for him to go to Utica. Is it hard on a human level to have those conversations and make those decisions with somebody who came in and played as well as he did?
Yeah, I mean, it is hard. In particular, Whitey's not a young guy anymore. Like, he's older guy, he's got a family, and he's got all these things. With all of that said, I think if you were to get Colton White in a candid moment, he would tell you he didn't think he would spend any days here this year. So he's got a lot of gratitude, for the opportunity given to him. And I have a lot of gratitude for what he brought to us, and some stability, and to the point that, you get a little uncomfortable when you put him on waivers, because he's just a valuable guy to the organization. I don't know exactly what the plan may be. If he clears, it doesn't necessarily mean he has to go down right away, but I think some roster flexibility seems to be a priority, just to have that, and then we'll see how it goes. But Whitey's done a tremendous job, tremendous guy. We hope he stays in the organization for a long time, quite frankly. But he is very appreciative of his time here, and he's done a good job and certainly deserved the long run that he had.
And I'm just wondering, what have you seen or heard about Lenny and his development in Utica? Because I talked to Ryan Parent about it. It seems like he offensively has really popped, but also having the defensive game come a little bit more natural to him and kind of exceeding in that as well. Yeah,
he's I think he's done everything that we were hoping that he would do. It's taken a while to get to this point, but every game consistently showing up positively, producing on offense, good all-around game. Obviously, I don't watch them as closely as I'd like to, or as others in the organization, but those are the reports, and I see enough of the reports behind the scenes, and you watch the highlights and you see what he's doing on the score sheet. So certainly he's had our attention for weeks now, quite frankly. I think that's a young player's job, is to get our attention. We're trying to find different ways to find the right timing. I think if he has shown anything in the early going here, and it was sort of it was a discussion point coming into this season, is that he historically has been a guy that takes some time to get comfortable, and that's my experience watching him. Whether it was in rookie tournament, I thought early on he just didn't look overly confident or assertive, and he's injured. He comes into training camp and played some preseason games. Didn't look overly confident or comfortable. That was the same in the early going in Utica, but he's showing now to be the player that we think he can be. So now we're having a lot of discussions about what is the right transition for him to be in the NHL, so we can put him in a position to succeed, and not just throw him into a situation because we need some help, but let's do right by him to make sure we've got a player that's going to have a long NHL career. So he's on his way, and we're having lots of conversations about him.
I know Jackson is 7th year here. I'm just curious what the conversations are like, Sheldon, like in the video room with Jack, like how receptive he might be to maybe you should be doing this or doing that, and how it is when maybe he's offering what he feels should be happening in certain places. What are those conversations like, and how receptive is he to criticism?
He's very receptive. He wants to be coached. He's a student of the game. Enjoys conversation. When I've been direct and blunt with him, he's taken it very well, whether that's in a one-on-one setting or in front of the team. So I had no issues there with coaching Jack. He's very receptive, wants to be pushed, and he wants solutions. If he's not going well, the team's not going well. He wants some help to get it going that way. At the same time, he's a special talent and he's a very intelligent player. He's got lots to offer. So I'm interested in his take. What's he seeing? What's he feeling out there? I think that's important to have with your top players, and particular with a player like Jack, so cerebral, how he plays the game. So I really enjoy our back and forth that way.